Beautiful Starlight. Today's class is on falling in love with the unknown. Falling in love with the unknown. So, in the world of manifestation, the thing that is the most difficult thing to master is, even when nothing is happening, how do you stay in that really light, ecstatic, happy, vibrant space? So what happens is when you allow yourself to be so happy, your aura expands so much. It actually hits the quantum field in a specific way. And it's that radiance of happiness, boom, hitting the quantum that allows a miracle to quickly reflect back to you. So if you're new in my world, I'm Samantha Blossom, your manifestation mentor, your opulence oracle. And my job is to observe your highest frequency timeline, like the most beautiful, extraordinary, exquisite life that you can imagine, and supporting you in creating it and manifesting it now. So we're going to go through some beautiful conversations in getting things activated and awakened for you. So this is for the visionary, the entrepreneur, the wild dreamer that is ready to go from here to here quickly. Now, it's not always comfortable because in the process of quantum leaping, you're also having to shed and release and uninstall emotions, physical items, all these things pretty quickly. So it's not for everyone, but it is for the bold and the courageous and the ones who know they're here to create an incredible impact and they want to move fast. These are for my fast sprinters out there. Okay. So falling in love with the unknown. Now, every single day we're in the unknown. A single day, we have no idea what could happen in a single day. We have no idea what could happen in a single week or in a month or even a year from now. Now, we either cultivate and inspire and create the day, or we react to what happens in the day. So either whatever's happening in the day kind of owns and controls you, or you get ahead of the momentum, you're leading and guiding the universe, and you're inspiring the next thing to happen. Now, when you become that vibration of light, when you become that vibration of exquisite energy, because you're radiating that out, you're going to have that mirrored back to you. So the universe is a mirror effect. It's simply mirroring yourself back to you. Now, when something negative happens, it's often an opportunity to observe, where do I have some low self-worth? Where am I still telling myself a low self-worth story or experience? And the universe is going to have that experience pop up, very uncomfortable, but it's so that you can observe it, clean it up, and then raise the frequency again. Okay. So key code number 1, falling in love with the unknown, is love your light and your shadow, because you have to somehow fall in love with all of your actions, past, present, future. Maybe some were awesome, maybe some were not as awesome. But when you are in congruence with yourself, when you decide, okay, like I deeply love myself, I love the things that I've created that were extraordinary, and I love the mistakes that I've made, you begin to create a currency of wholeness in your system. So you allow yourself to take more action because you're not in opposition of yourself. You're actually in congruence with yourself. And as humans, we all have light and we all have shadow. So the more that we can accept our light and shadow, the more powerful you become. The more you can accept the light and shadow of another person, the more powerful you become. Now, if you're just focused on one or the other, there's going to be some imbalances. It can be highly uncomfortable to be able to fully love your own shadow and someone else's. But it's just a lot of energy radiating and moving through the system. It's not bad. It's just a lot of circuitry of energy. Now, when you can hold that polarity of you might get it and you might not, That is like, that's the sweet spot of life. And that is how you really master falling in love with the unknown. It's like that roller coaster. You're like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know what's going to happen. This is so exciting. So if you can hold that. Now, most of us try to control. They want to know what the outcome is. And when you try to control, you can stop that flow. Now, to increase that flow, there could be this moment of like, oh my gosh, there's so many exciting things happen. Oh my gosh, but then I might lose it. And you have to be able to hold the energy long enough so that the result that you actually want shows up and appears. So, one fun way to go through this first key code is to simply go through your past and notice your actions. How do you fall in love with those actions? Let's say you invested in something and you were like, why did I spend so much money on that? Instead, just being like, I love that I made that action. That action was awesome. If you can go back to your own past stories and decide that every action you took was amazing, incredible, extraordinary, exactly the step that you needed to take to become the person that you are today, then you start to create wholeness because you're actually falling in love with yourself. Now, the more that you can fall in love with your own light and your own shadow, you're going to have that reflected, right? Other people will be able to love and accept your light and shadow as well. Okay, number 2, the universe is reflecting yourself back to you. So in a single day, how many actions can you take that are in congruence with your power identity? The version of you that you're like, I want to show up like this. This is who I am. You know, there's different versions of yourself. You know, we've created coping mechanisms and all these things, self-defense mechanisms, all these things to be able to handle life. But there's a powerful version of you that also exists. It's the version of you that's like super creative, incredibly remarkable, like intelligent, like does these extraordinary things. Now, in a single day, how often are you investing in that part of yourself? How often are you taking the actions, feeling the feelings, dressing the part, choosing the role? The more you choose that power identity within yourself, the rest of it begins to fall away. Powerful ways to allow those other things to fall away is observe your own actions. Is this action in alignment with who you're becoming? Or is this action in alignment with a past version of you that maybe played the victim role or, you know, whatever role that was for you? So the universe is reflecting yourself back to you. So how can you go through the video game of your life, notice what clothes are still vibrating an old conversation? I've been handing out prop money $100 to feel into the kind of resources on its way. Exciting. So so the more you send out love, you're going to send out love, send out love, send out love, and then the universe is going to reflect that love back to you. You're going to send out frequencies of wealth, and the universe is going to send that back to you. Now, you're also going to have moments where you're sending out opposition. So now it's just balancing it out, right? Okay, how in a single day, how much of you is radiating out that opposition? What are the tools that we can use to start to dismantle those old frequencies? Is it loving the past version of you? Is it meditating, having a conversation with that part of you? Is it, I love Joe Dispenza, is it doing a Joe Dispenza meditation, activating your Kundalini energy, bringing it up to the heart, allowing that new heart coherence to shoot up into the mind? What are the different tools that you get to access to create more wholeness and to energize you and to allow that ascension spiral to happen? Okay. Key code number 3 is you lead and the universe follows. So you essentially instruct people how to show up for you. So for instance, if some part of you is torturing yourself or diminishing yourself because you're doing that to yourself, the external world has to do that back to you. Now, the more that you spend time just like loving, harmonizing, feeling incredible about you because you're treating yourself in that way. You're actually instructing the rest of the universe to mirror that back to you. So in the world of business and clients and all these things, are you predominantly saying to yourself, wow, I love the business that I've created. It's so much fun. It's so exciting. Every little tiny piece of it just works. I'm so proud of what I've created. Is that the majority of the conversation? Is it constructive and rising up? Or is it, man, it's still not good enough? Why is it still not good enough, right? Are you positively creating more momentum, or are you actually criticizing and decreasing the frequency? So you get to observe that in your reality. Like, what are the conversations about your bank account, about your business, about your employees, about your relationships? Are you counting your blessings, or are you counting what you don't have, right? Because either one can amplify in your life. And so that takes an extraordinary amount of focus and awareness to say to yourself, oh, I'm actually counting what I'm not getting. So you're going to see that increase. Oh, I'm actually counting more of my blessings. I'm counting this is working well and this is going well, because you're going to energize that part, right? This is working well. That's going so awesome. This is incredible. Energy investment. That energy begins to rise up. And that's part of falling in love with the unknown, because you may not know how your clients feel. You may not know exactly, do they love your business right now? Are they feeling whatever? But because you've fallen in love with the unknown, you don't know, but you're in love with it. You know, you decide, this feels so good. Like, I love it. And you keep that frequency so clear in your own system because you're the co-creator. You're the co-creator of reality. Okay, so the you lead, the universe follows is like you take some extraordinary action. You're like, I don't know if anyone's even gonna really like this, but you take that action anyways. So now you begin to mold and craft and shape the day. You begin to guide the life force to turn into something, right? So you're cultivating that every day. Imagine every day is a blank canvas and you're the artist. What are you painting that day? What are you creating that day? What are you cultivating that day? How are you choosing more beautiful energies to create? Number 4 is your vibe is contagious. Your vibe is contagious. So in those moments of the unknown, are you running survival programs? Oh no, I don't know if anything's gonna work out. What if this doesn't work? Or are you running your love programs? Are you running, man, today is just so beautiful. Whoa, like these little tiny things, you're just like, you're zooming in on this thing was awesome. These tiny things were so good. Whoa, I'm so grateful for that person in my life. Like this person in my life, they were so amazing. And you train yourself. You're like a detective and you train yourself to see, wow, there's so many little tiny beautiful blessings. And you're going to notice the more that you're so grateful for your blessings, those things keep coming to you. The things that you are most in love with, most obsessed with, most grateful for will begin to amplify. The same thing with the things that you're most afraid of, most anxiety around, like your greatest fears are also going to be reflected back, but your greatest love will also be mirrored back. So when you can allow yourself to get so obsessed, so in love with this other universe, that is what's going to come back to you. Number 5 is you set the frequency and the tone, right? You set the frequency. So how are you setting the frequency? Are you waking up in the morning and making sure you work out, you have some positive conversations, you vividly share your vision with yourself, with all your friends, like you write about it? How are you casting the vision for your day? How are you igniting incredible magic and emotions and all these conversations? How are you igniting something beautiful in your day so that that energy is radiating out first? You're already having a conversation with the universe. You're already having a conversation with your clients. You're already having a conversation with your business, with your money matrix, all those things. Are you sending out, oh my gosh, there's so much love here. There's so much of it. Like, this is so good. Is that the predominant vibration that you're emanating out? Or is it, oh my gosh, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm super scared, right? So how are you falling in love with the unknown and grateful even before the physical thing arrives? Okay, so number 6 is getting ahead of the momentum. Now, you might have, let's say you're in a space where you haven't created really awesome results for the past 5 days. Then you want to get ahead of the momentum. You want to spend about 5 to 6 days just feeling so good, feeling so happy, in your greatest element. Like, just everything is so remarkable, so incredible. Your aura is big, right? You've invested energy in yourself. You've decided, like, I'm going to fill myself with really good food. I'm going to be in a beautiful location. I'm going to take in really good energy. Like, my whole system is going to be charged up with incredible magic. Now, 5 days, 6 days later, you're going to start to see that reflect back, right? You filled yourself up with so much incredibleness. The only thing left for the universe to reflect back is more incredibleness. Now, when you can start to compound play this game over a long period of time, it's easier for some of us than others, right? Some of us have more traumatic experiences. So I would say if you've had a lot of trauma in the past, as you're filling yourself with really good things, you might notice your body purging. You might notice your body saying, wow, I am so deeply grieving that all these good things are coming in because the past part of you never got to experience those things. So there's a past part of you that is having tantrums, like maybe like, and it's just like purging. It's an old identity that's saying, man, I never had my needs met. Man, there were all these things I wanted and I never had. And how come this current version of you gets to have it? This old part of you might throw like the biggest tantrum around it. Might be like, that's not fair. Like, how's she getting it? I didn't have it. You know, it's very interesting what will happen in your system, but you might see, you know, lots of tears, lots of release, some kind of purging happening. I would say the easiest way to move through that would be, of course, coming back to your breath. I would say journaling, talking to that part of you, letting that part of you know, hey, they're safe. It's okay to receive a lot of good things. I would create a Pinterest board of your childhood bedroom and just let that part of you know, hey, you're in this cute, beautiful, adorable bedroom now. Like, that's how safe you are. Like, help all the parts of you to feel really safe with receiving new things. Now, I work with so many clients where, you know, we're essentially sometimes skyrocketing from like $1 million year to like a $3 million year, or like something extraordinary had a $10 million year to like a $10 million month, you know, so that jump is very fast. So when you have these quantum leaps, you also have to be strong enough to be able to purge out the things that aren't good for you anymore. Imagine you were raising your vibration to a certain level. You were feeling so incredible, right? And then your system also had these old emotions that had been living there for a long time. That has to dismantle to create space for your new you, for who you are now. Or you can't hold the frequency of how good the things are about to come in. Awesome things run at a really fast frequency. They feel good, it's fast, it's flowy, it's all those things. And if you have old, dense emotions buried inside, it's incompatible, right? Like, the old, dense emotions have to find a way to break up, to dissolve, to release. You have to clear out that space. So then your operating system actually has so much more flexibility, more movement, right? For you to hold your new reality. Because your new reality is going to run so much faster than the past one. So in these moments, it's about really being able to stay grounded while you're rising up at the same time. And there's different practices for grounding, right? You could do a lot of yoga. Honestly, if you do have a lot of older, just trauma and things like that, I would get a cup of tea. I would get into bed. I would just cry it out. I would just like let all the old emotions process. If you have a good friend that can sit there with you and like observe with you, like sometimes that's really helpful. But just know it's temporary. It's not going to be there forever. It's just like, going through a week detox somewhere. It's like you're purging out all the old food that you've eaten or whatever it is. You're going through a detox process. So don't feel like it's bad. It's actually really good. One of my clients, she just manifested her dream house. Like, we did it in maybe like 2 weeks. And then after, now all these like fears are coming up, like all these things, and that's just totally normal, right? It's like, it takes a lot of courage and boldness to receive something really good if you've never received it before. So just be gentle with yourself and, take some time to fall in love with the unknown. So to fall in love with the unknown, you're getting ahead of the momentum. Getting ahead of the momentum means you're choosing to be even more grateful. You're choosing to infuse the day with like really, really good things. Even when your system kind of wants to choose like something that would take you down, I would just like shake it off and be like, okay, my power identity would choose this. My power identity would choose this. Like the most, genuine part of me, the version of me that wants to grow into this would choose this. Find that action, find that word, find those emotions and take that action. Like get so brave and so bold and help yourself be in opposition of the old version of you while you're loving the old version of you and moving forward at the same time. So exciting. So this is falling in love with the unknown. And if you have more questions or if there's another topic that you're super interested in, just leave me a message, leave me a note. And if you're ready to dive into some work, my latest program is The Story. So every tiny little story that we tell ourselves and every little tiny story that we tell others creates a frequency. And that frequency is either building positive energy or it's creating low frequency energy. So it's either attacking and destroying or it's increasing positivity and increasing light and actually building connection. So the things that you're most grateful for, right? Those stories, that's creating connection. When we tell ourselves these stories that wasn't good enough, that didn't, like it shouldn't have happened that way, like I wish that didn't happen, like those stories are gonna be more deteriorating. So this is inside of Power versus Force, if you haven't read it before, but it has the consciousness map. So at 200, you're at the frequency of courage. Anything at 200 or above, you're in creation mode. Anything below 200, so when you're in fear, when you're in shame, when you're in all those things, not that they're bad, but when you're in those modes, you're going to be in some kind of destruction. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes you want to destroy an old part of your personality. Sometimes you want to dissolve an old way of feeling or thinking. So those emotions have a purpose. They might be coming up to, it's like a tool. It's a tool that's being used to say, hey, this has been living inside of your body. We have to let it go, right? So allow yourself to feel that, do the work, destroy whatever needs to be destroyed, and then once you can come back to the positive energy, then you can spiral back up again. Once whatever needed to resolve gets resolved, then you can start to spiral back up on the map. But it's not about chasing that emotion, but it's more about being aware of, okay, this is bringing me into a low vibe. I'm used to hanging out there. What if I were to choose this other thing? And what if I got used to hanging out here instead? And what if I stabilized hanging out here? Like, how long can you stay in those higher frequencies, right? Once you start to hang out in those higher frequencies, your brain map will begin to shift and change. Your neurotransmitters will begin to shift and change. Your cells will vibrate differently. But that takes time and that takes commitment to say, hey, I see myself spiraling down. What if I don't choose that? And what if I choose this? And what if I keep choosing this? And what if I choose this even when it doesn't make sense, right? That's where you're falling in love with the unknown. It's like you're continuously deciding, this is who I am, this is where I'm playing, these are the people I'm around, this is the space that I'm hanging out in, right? And you keep conditioning your entire body to be in that frequency. And that will eventually just be your entire reality. But it takes that time to choose that over and over again. But you can do that pretty quickly, and especially when you're surrounding yourself with people who are, they're all in, they're ready to play that game with you. They're they're holding you accountable for that higher timeline reality, and you keep getting that mirrored back. So anytime you drop, they remind you, hey, this is the happiest version of you. This is when you're playing your A game. This is how you usually show up. Like, they keep consistently reminding you of that. And you want to surround yourself with people that can hold that image for you, right? Because otherwise, you know, if you show your darkest self and they keep reflecting that back to you, they're also going to project that energy onto you, and it's going to be hard to break yourself free. So you really need to like continuously decide, okay, this is the highest version of me. Please remind me, please reflect this back to me. And then eventually over time, then you begin to stabilize. Yay! I hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you're ready to quantum leap yourself into a new timeline, the program is already available in my link in bio. And my next program coming out is going to be the body key code. So you can always send me a note if you want to get on the wait list. Hope you're having the most beautiful, magical day. And I can't wait to hear how this little mastermind has changed your life in such a big way. Ciao.